Hello everyone, welcome back to Odds Now for another Euro 2024 preview as we continue our preview of the tournament, which is set to kick off later this week. On the channel you can already see individual previews for each of the 6 group stages, as well as all the written content that we've already written up over on oddsnow.com under the tips and insight sections. You can find individual team guides for each of the 24 teams competing in Germany, as well as individual market pieces as well. So go over there and check all of that out. We will link the website and all of the guides down below in the description. As you can see, before we get into today's topic, I'm joined by Matt on screen. First of all, Matt, how are you doing?
Yeah, very well. Cheers, Brad. Looking forward to the big kickoff now. Not far away, are we? Feels like we've been we're doing all these previews. Feels like I've been sort of getting ready for a long time now. Just want it all to kick off now, really.
Yeah, me too. And as you can see by the title of today's video, we're going to be looking at the specials markets for the tournament Euro 2024. Matt's going to be doing the bulk of the talking us through these different markets. I think the first one we've got set up here, Matt, is a top team goal scorer, which is essentially picking out the players who we feel will be the top scorers for their respective nations. You've looked at the betting line, and found some value picks in there. Do you want to talk us through them first of all?
Yeah, well, very interesting markets, very fluid markets as well, these ones. A lot of change. So if you are looking, and this video's been up a couple of days, every chance the prices will have changed again, especially as more and more sort of tipsters and what have you put their 2 pence in. But yeah, I've seen these markets from formation really when we were doing the previews. The written previews to the website, these were just starting to go up. I think BetVictor in the UK were the first ones to go up, but now you've got maybe 8 or 9 different books going live on this market. And, some teams are very obvious who's going to be the favourite. There are some teams that have odds on picks leading up this market. And then there are others where it's just a bit of a pin sticker's guide. You're just flipping a coin on certain cases or, but I do like a few of these. I've singled a few out. So I'll try not to bore you too much with these, but hopefully a winner or two in there. I want to start with Albania. Obviously, a team that look to be up against it at Euro 2024. They've had a rough drawn in with Spain, Italy and Croatia in Group B. As a result, Albania are, leading the market in terms of the team to be the lowest scorers at Euro 2024. So it's no surprise that there's been a bit of a nibble in their team scorer markets for no goal scorer, which is currently 5-1, did open up 8-1. I still think there's a little bit of juice in that price, even at 5-1. Out of the 24 teams to be playing at this year's tournament, Albania, despite topping their qualifying group ahead of Poland and the Czech Republic, created the least XG out of any of the qualified nations. So, not carving out particularly many chances. They played a lot of those qualifiers without Armando Broja, who's probably the only kind of recognisable name for a lot of sort of more casual viewers. He is now back fit, but he's not played an awful lot of football, so it's hard to be quite sure where he is in terms of his preparation. So, yeah, I mean, look, Italy up first is going to be a pivotal game for them. I suppose out of Spain, Italy and Croatia, they would be the ones you have the most sort of reservations over. But if they don't score against Italy, then that is going to be a worry, isn't it? Because Spain and Croatia both fancy to go well in this tournament, potentially to go deep. So, yeah, no goal scorer, 5-1, I still think is worth having in your book for Albania. And then I was trying to find one of the others, and as I mentioned in our group previews at the time, it's Nedim Bejrami who's the man who stands out to me as if you do want to get a player on side from Albania. He is the set piece specialist, the free kick taker, attacking midfielder, and he's able to back at 12-1, and 1 goal may well be enough to win this market. So I think by backing no goal scorer and Nedim Bejrami at 5-1 and 12-1, you're in a strong position there with the Albania market. Another one that stands out to me, and this is one that's only just come onto my radar really, Lovro Majer for Croatia, plays for Wolfsburg in the Bundesliga. He's an attacking midfielder, but for Croatia, because they have such a wealth of talent in midfield, he's generally playing on the right wing. And this is a Croatia side that are very well organised with a midfield, full of powerhouses. But they don't have an awful lot of obvious goal scorers. And Majer has been playing on the right wing. He played there in March and scored a goal, and he's played there again in their 2 recent friendlies, and he got himself a brace against Macedonia in a 3-0 win. So in a Croatia team hard to see exactly where the goals are coming from. A player that scored 3 in his last 3 outings is 14-1 to be their top team goal scorer. I definitely think that is worth a few quid, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that price come in a little bit between now and then. I think it is Betway who are currently 14-1 on Majer. So yeah, that price could go quickly, I think. The Netherlands, this is an interesting one. This is a little bit of a punt, admittedly, but Virgil van Dijk is 18-1 to be their top team goal scorer. Now, this does hinge slightly on the fact that Van Dijk is in line to possibly take penalties for the Netherlands. It's between him and Memphis Depay. Depay is far from a certain striker, a certain starter, sorry. They've got a few interchangeable options in that front three, the likes of Cody Gakpo, Xavi Simons, Daniel Milan from Dortmund. So there's no guarantee Depay is going to start. And him and Van Dijk have kind of shared out recent penalty duties for their nation. So if Van Dijk is to take penalties for the Netherlands, it's not beyond the realms that he could get himself a couple of goals. And furthermore, as we all know with Virgil van Dijk, he has fantastic aerial prowess, a real threat of set pieces. And Poland in particular in this group have really struggled to defend set pieces in recent games. So, Van Dijk, I think, is a very live option again at 18-1 in his top team goal scorer market. So yeah, look, Van Dijk and Majer, you're going to need a little bit of luck there, but I just think that they're price plays. So I would, they're definitely for me. Another one at a big price that I'm having on side, once again, no goal scorer, and this is for Romania. Very inspiring, particularly in their 2 friendly matches last week where they've blanked on both occasions against quite poor opposition. I don't really see where the star names are up front in this side. And at 16-1, I just think you've got to back the no goal scorer there. It's, I would have it sort of half that price. Of course, the danger of this bet is that it's killed instantly with one strike. But I think that's factored into the price at 16-1. And every tournament traditionally you do get 1 or 2 teams that don't manage to find the back of the net. I'm happy to wager that Romania and Albania could be front runners for that accolade at Euro 2024. And then just 2 more I want to flag up. Spain's market interests me. Alvaro Morata, a very short price favourite for that one. He's one of the main number 9s that I'm not frightened of taking on a bit. I mean, he can go and win it at 6-4 for all I care. I just think he's a little bit too short. So the 2 against the field, anyone who's watched our previous videos will probably know these. Lamine Yamal at 10-1, the Barcelona starlet, and Mikel Oyarzabal as well, 12-1, who in good goal scoring form in the recent friendlies as well. So I think those 2 double figures are worth having on side. And then the last one is for Turkey, Arda Guler. This Turkey side, I watched a bit of their friendly with Poland last night, and it's fair to say that both teams look quite brittle at the back. Finished 2-1 to Poland, which probably wasn't a fair reflection of the game. But yeah, Turkey, you can see what it's going to be exciting, but it's also going to be a little bit chaotic at times, I think. But they do have creativity in abundance. They've got a real problem up front now. Already had a struggle working out who their main centre forward was. Looked like it was going to be Enes Ünal, the Bournemouth loanee, but unfortunately he broke his toe last week. So Cenk Tosun is in line to lead the line for them. Experienced striker, which many will remember from a loan spell at Everton. But, he's more of a hold-up striker, I think it's fair to say. So he will be bringing the attacking midfielders into play. Arda Guler has not played a lot recently for Turkey. He only had a cameo against Poland, having missed the previous friendly, but I'm certain he'll start. He's probably their star player, and he finished the season really strongly with Real Madrid. Had to bide his time to get into the team after injury, but he scored 4 or 5 times in the last 6 or 7 games in La Liga. So he comes in a really good vein of form. There's a lot of pressure on him to perform for Turkey. And I think at 10-1 is tremendous value in their top team goal scorer market. So as you can see there, I'm focusing on bigger prices in these markets, and which means if you can get one of them to click, you'll be in profit. But hopefully we get a couple up.
I think you've also got a banker treble in your pocket as well, Matt, that you wanted to mention quickly. Some of the bigger names in the tournament for some of the bigger nations. You want to run us through that?
Yeah, definitely. So look, as I say, a lot of these markets for the more established nations, as you suggest, are well formed, and they have a sort of odds-on favourite or whatever at the top of it. I'm not in a rush to back Harry Kane as England's top goal scorer, just because I think England have got so much attacking talent, and it wouldn't really surprise me if one of the wide forwards was to, get a couple of goals and what have you. But there's 3 teams here where I think the central striker is just, I'm just struggling to see how they don't become their team's top goal scorer. Romelu Lukaku for Belgium. I think Belgium have got quite a kind group. I expect them to score goals, and Lukaku, he's got penalties as well, so he's in a really good position to be his team's top scorer. Same applies for Kylian Mbappe, who will probably go very close to the golden boot. Who in that front side is going to outscore Mbappe? It's hard to see. And Cristiano Ronaldo at Portugal, 39 years old now, but he's still leading the line. He's got an abundance of attacking midfield talent behind him, supplying him. You'd be surprised if he didn't get himself at least 3 or 4 goals. And those 3 to top score for their nations is coming in at just shy of 5-1 with Sporting Index and Spreadex. And I just think that, sometimes you just got to keep it simple, haven't you? I think those 3 look rock solid. I think for nearly 5-1, you're getting a great run for your money with that trio.
Okay, very good analysis there from Matt on the top team goal scorer market. We'll move on to the second market we're going to discuss today, which is the top tournament assists. Matt, do you want to talk us through who you're eyeing to come out on top on that line?
Yeah, this is a good market. Some familiar names at the top of it in Bruno Fernandes and Kevin De Bruyne for Premier League fans. But I like to look a little bit further down there, and realistically, what's going to win this market? Maybe 3 assists, 4 assists. A name that really interests me is Florian Wirtz, who is somebody in my written previews who I alluded to for a potential player of the tournament, playing at home in Germany, with Kai Havertz probably leading the line as a false 9. There's going to be a real need for Germany to create plenty of chances from that attacking midfield area. And Wirtz is somebody who dictates the play beautifully for Bayer Leverkusen. He's a joy to watch, and he just carve out chances en masse. I think that this could be his tournament. I've already backed him to be player of the tournament, and I think he's worth having on side in this market as well at 25-1. And then a late addition, which I'm also going to back alongside Wirtz in this market, is Trent Alexander-Arnold, somebody who, if you'd asked me 2 weeks ago, I probably wouldn't have had him starting many games for England or even, coming on that often. But after England's 2 friendlies, 2 underwhelming performances, it must be said, he looks to have possibly played himself into the side. He can play in that auxiliary fullback role, or he can play in central midfield. And it looks like Southgate is going to try and use him next to Jude Bellingham in a double pivot. And I think that there's great potential here for Alexander-Arnold in that market. We saw against Iceland, even though England were poor, a couple of his balls when he came on were defence splitting passes. We've seen him do it for years and years at Liverpool. He really does have a fantastic eye for a pass. And with the amount of forwards on offer for England, he's going to have plenty of people to be supplying at the top end of the pitch, not just Harry Kane, but the likes of Foden, Saka, Palmer, all feeding off him. So I think at 33-1, Alexander-Arnold is worth adding to your book. He was actually 50-1 a few hours ago. So you can see this price is retracting quickly. I still think 33-1, if he's going to be starting every game, is worth having. But if it went much shorter, it probably wouldn't be for me. But at the current price, it's a bet.
Okay, moving on to the group straight forecast, basically predicting who you think will come out in first and second in the group stage. I think you've got a couple of groups in mind for this one, Matt. Which groups are you eyeing up on this line?
Yeah, 2 groups I want to play on the straight forecasts here. Group A, I see this. It's obviously been priced Germany as the best team by a distance, which is, despite their reservations and unconvincing friendly performances, a fair assessment, I think. Then it's between Switzerland, Hungary, and Scotland as to how it's going to pan out afterwards. The market seems to think Switzerland's going to finish second. Anyone who's watched our preview videos will know that I'm a keen supporter of Hungary. I really like this side. They play Switzerland first up, so a lot will hinge on that game. But I can see them getting through in second place. So Germany to finish first and Hungary to finish second at 10-3. That's a general price available everywhere. I think that's well worth a little look there. And then in Group E as well, another group that we covered, and we both felt that there was a little bit of gulf between the top 2 and the bottom 2. Belgium and Ukraine. I'd be very surprised if they don't come out of that group, the pair of them. Ukraine have not been great in their friendlies, but it wouldn't worry me too much Belgium to top the group with Ukraine second comes in at a very fair 5-2. And of course, you could double that up if you wanted a little fun bet. But the other groups, I tried to find an angle in, but I just felt it was a bit forced. You know, England's groups, I'm not absolutely convinced about who's going to finish second. And a lot of the groups have that feel to them where the second, third, and fourth, there's much of a muchness. There's not much between them. But these are the two groups where I thought the prices were fair to have a play.
And finally, we'll move on to the final market, the highest scoring team, which is self-explanatory. I don't think we need much explanation there. Matt, do you want to talk us through who you're backing there?
Well, it is, and obviously the formation of this market, there's a lot of similarities with the outright market because presumably the teams that are most likely to get to the final are going to score the most goals. However, as we've alluded to in a couple of videos, Brad, sometimes the group stages can actually be where these things are won and lost. So I've gone for two teams that I think could score a few goals in the group stages there. And Portugal would probably be my preference of the two, simply because they're I think their chances of winning the tournament are a little bit stronger. But Portugal 7-1 and Belgium 12-1 would be my two against the field here. Both have quite favourable groups, shall we say, in terms of scoring the goals. And as I've said, I'm with Lukaku in the top goal scorer market. I think he could have fun in the group stage. So you'd be hoping that Belgium are going to rack up the goals in the groups because I'm not sure they're going to go much deeper than the quarterfinals realistically. And you're up against France and England, who both fancy their chances of going towards the final and will both be quite prolific. But I think England and France's groups are a bit tougher than Portugal and Belgium. So I think these two can get up a little bit of a buffer in the group stages, and then it'll be a case of how long they can hang in there for. And as we get into the tournament as well, the quarterfinals, semi-finals, final traditionally become a lot more cagey, a lot less goals. Not every time. Obviously, we saw the World Cup final in 2022 was a goal fest, but traditionally these are much tighter games, and I think the group stage is maybe where this market is won and lost. So Portugal 7-1 and Belgium 12-1 are my two against the field.
Well, there you go. That concludes our preview on the specials markets for Euro 2024. Be sure to check out the rest of the channel, like we said, for all the videos we've done so far on the group stage and several other markets too. You can check out the website too, oddsnow.com, under the tips and insights section for all of our written preview ahead of the tournament. There'll be plenty of content going up on there as well throughout the tournament as we move further on through the stages. Thank you for joining me today, Matt, and thank you to everyone for watching this video at home. Let us know your own thoughts in the comments below. Which of those bets do you agree with, disagree with, and what will you be going for in those respective lines? Keep an eye on the channel. There'll be more coming here too between now and the tournament kicking off on Friday, which only a couple of days away now until the big day. We will be looking forward to it. Thank you everyone for watching, as I said, and we'll check you out in the next. We'll see you, in the next video.